Happy holidays, everyone. It's Captain Trueblood, hoping that everyone is doing well and enjoying themselves during this time of year. So, I'm assuming that many gifts are being given this season, which could very well mean that we might have some new players in Valorant. So far on the channel, we have covered a couple of agents and have dabbled the discussion of the meta in the game, but today I bring you a guide on credits and more so how to properly budget to maximize your damage output. We'll go over the breakdown of the econ rating, a generally fair weapon guide, and then my favorite part, agent loadouts. Break out those TI-83s and let's get into my guide, which henceforth will be called Super Budget Money Management, or SBMM for short. Wait, hold up. That's already an acronym and a huge issue in a different game. Anyway, starting out with a breakdown on the econ rating. At the end of each match, you get a few different values on the scoreboard, one of them being your econ rating. This basically tells you how well you did with your money, and although it really doesn't matter in matchmaking and rating, you still want to keep an eye on this because a better ER means you are being useful in each round. You don't want to be that aggro sage that rushes on defense and dies first. To maximize this, let's look at how this number is calculated. Your ER is your damage dealt per 1,000 credits spent. So if we did 3,000 damage, around 20 kills, and spent 30,000 credits, then our ER is 100, which is great. To maximize this, we want to deal as much damage as possible while doing little to no spending. The easiest way to do this is by winning most of our fights, and while I can't teach you how to improve your aim, I can help by telling you which guns you should and shouldn't buy. So let's go down each category and I'll give it 1 of 3 ratings. Yes, which means you should buy this. No, don't buy this ever. And which is situational, as well as pros, cons, and optimal scenarios for each gun. Starting with pistols, we have the classic. At the low price of free, you get a decent medium to close range pistol with a 3-shot secondary firing mode for close range, high damage output. I don't like using the classic, but as a last resort, it's alright, and the only time you'll consider this weapon over another is during pistol and save rounds. I give it a yes, mainly because it's free, which opens up more of your credits to spend or save. For 200 credits, you have the shorty, and as seen in the thumbnail, I give this an automatic no. This weapon is so situational, you will literally only see smurfs use it to take advantage of unaware low ELO players that don't check their corners. High damage output at a short range, but most of your fights will be outside of the shorty's range, so go with the classic instead. At 400 credits, you get the Frenzy, a full auto 13 round pistol. Its range is actually worse than the classic, but it does have pretty high first shot accuracy. I give this a no as well, because unless your aim is extremely cracked, you won't do well with this. Oh man, do I love me a ghost. This gun is sexy as fuck, and you should always buy this if you don't go for a classic and light armor on pistol round. It does amazing damage at a decent range for a silenced gun, and the accuracy is amazing, but unlike the Frenzy, your aim doesn't need to be super amazing to take advantage of this wonderful firearm. This is a yes in my book. For you cowboys itching to get that big iron on their hips, you have the Sheriff at 800 credits. This thing kicks, so your aim better be solid because it will pay off with those one-tap headshots at close to medium range. The only con is that it's 800 credits, so you get no flexibility for anything else on pistol round, so I'll put this as a for those confident enough to put some more notches on their pistol. The first of 2 SMGs, the Stinger costs 1,000 credits and is easily the most underrated weapon in all of Valorant. While its magazine size is rather small, the jump scare fire rate almost makes up for it. This is a for sure, because the range is short and the recoil is scary, but on save rounds, it can help you secure a kill more than a ghost or a classic can, which in turn will lead you to a better gun, hopefully a rifle. The Spectre, a poor man's phantom. For 1,600 credits, you get a 30-round silenced SMG with a decent fire rate and easy to control recoil. This gun is amazing, I love the aesthetic of it, and it performs well when you are operating at a short to medium range. Definitely gets a yes in my book, and you should definitely use this when you have game advantage but can't afford a rifle. So I'm just going to group the shotguns together because they both get a no, and they pretty much share the same pros and cons. The Bucky costs 900 for a standard pump shotgun with a secondary slug fire, and the Judge's 1,600 is a full auto shotgun with reduced damage. Don't buy these. If you are going for a save round or want to just budget, either get the Spectre for 1,600 instead of the Judge, and instead of getting a Bucky, either spend 100 more and get a Stinger, or save 400 and get a Ghost. Please, I beg of you, don't buy the shotguns. I see a lot of noobs buying these and losing their fights because they are easily outclassed by the enemy team with SMGs and ARs. 90% of your fights will take place in a medium range, so these will never be viable. Moving on to the rifles, we have the Bulldog at 2,100 credits. Its accuracy isn't that bad for being the cheapest rifle, but its fire rate is one of the lowest of the full autos in game. And I mean, it has a cool 3-round burst mode. I guess. This gets a no for me because while it's 800 credits cheaper than the Vandal or Phantom, I think buying a Spectre might be more useful if used properly. The Guardian is a really great rifle in an awkward position economy-wise. At 2400 credits, it has amazing damage and accuracy, but it's semi-automatic, so your aim needs to be pretty solid to really utilize this weapon properly. It's also great for holding extremely long angles, but you might want to opt for a Marshal at 1000 credits, and you get a scope. This one gets a because I like you, but we gotta take it slow, dog. I mean, come on. Alright, now the Vandal and Phantom. I'm gonna combine both of these because these are the meta weapons in the game, and they always will be, because that's how these guns were designed, and therefore they perform very similar. For 2900 credits, you get rifles with good damage, good range, great accuracy, and good fire rates. I'm not gonna dive into which one you should use because the entire Vandal Phantom meta is a big ass topic to get into, and it's constantly gonna change. At one point, it was the Vandal because it got a slight buff and it was preferred for the range, but now it's the Phantom because of running headshots, and most likely it will change in the next month or so. This gets a yes. Take some time to learn these weapons well because you will be using these, and there's never going to be a situation where you won't use them. For 1000 credits, you get a sniper that deals decent body damage, a good fire rate, really good hip fire accuracy, and a fixed zoom scope. So what's the caveat? Well, you just gotta hit your shots, and then when it comes to CQB, you're going to lose most of your fights because it's a semi-auto rifle. This gets a because similar to the Marshal, it's a great performing weapon, but has an extremely specific area that it operates in. Speaking of operate, the most expensive gun in the game, the Operator, costs 5,000 and kills in one hit to the chest and above, and it's great for holding angles and even works in medium close range too. Its cons is that it has no hip fire accuracy unless you are legit barrel stuffing the enemy, and if you miss a shot, you better run and hide as you rechamber your next bullet. The rating? I give this a unique yes because while this is a great weapon that can provide amazing utility, you need to have decent game sense and reaction time to use this efficiently, and for 5,000, you might want to go for a Vandal or a Phantom and save some credits. But if you know how to use the Operator, then go for it. I'm combining the LMGs because similar to the shotguns, these weapons only come handy in a small set of scenarios, and you are definitely better off using something else. Let's speed through this. Thinking about buying an Ares for 1600? Get a Spectre instead. Interested in the Odin at 3200? Nah fam, Vandal or Phantom for 2900. These are low skill floor, low skill ceiling weapons. They don't take that much knowledge or talent to use, and they are extremely simple, so you can't do much with them anyway. Alright, now that the weapons are out of the way, let's talk about agent abilities. I'm not gonna dive into every single agent, but let's use Killjoy since we were already familiar with her from my mega guide video. Killjoy gets 2 swarms at 200 credits each, and an alarm bot at 200 credits as well. So what do we buy? Well, if it's on pistol round, you have to be smart with your choices. You can buy light armor, get a classic, and then buy 1 swarm and 1 alarm bot, giving you a full range of utility. Opt for a ghost and no armor, and you are left with 300 credits for 1 swarm or 1 bot. Whichever you choose is up to you, your playstyle, and what site you play, as well as what side you are on. And it's all of these things that you have to take into consideration when buying any ability in the game. This is clearly deliberate in design from Riot because they want you to learn how to make smart choices, because big boy IQ will get you wins. I'll give you my personal choice. I prefer fragging, and I fucking hate the classic, so I always opt in for Ghost. I buy a swarm to maximize damage, and because on pistol round, most of the enemies funnel in from one entrance most of the time, so the alarm bot isn't needed, especially when I have the turret. What about a regular round? Well, if I have the ability to buy, I do it. Buying gets you wins as well, and as said in the previous video, we are in an extremely aggressive meta where if you can give yourself the advantage by force buying, you take it. On save rounds, I pretty much go with the Ghost, light armor, and 1 swarm, and the bot if I can afford it. Helpful tip, always try to save at least 1500 credits regardless if winning or losing, because even if you lose and get no kills and don't plant the spike on attack, you get 1900 credits for losing, and if you are on a loss streak, you get another minimum 500, which totals to 3900 credits, allowing you to buy a rifle and full armor, or perhaps a Spectre, full armor, and utility. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Next week is a surprise, so stay tuned for that, and subscribe if you want more informative content, because I have plenty of ideas for videos in the future. Be smart, save 1500 credits, don't buy the shorty, and I'll see you on the battlefield. This is your captain, signing out.